you should not be deceived that you're receiving like genuine empathy or
Y-
that you're in an actual relationship
Yeah,
because it lacks body
yeah,
and soul.
yeah,
And so the practicing of presence, what we're doing face to face,
yeah,
uh, it can imitate and approximate,
yeah.
but it cannot incarnate.
No, it can't. Hi, I'm Dr. Lem Usita, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking it out. I've spent my career studying identity formation, how we become who we are, especially in digital spaces. And one of the things I'm watching right now is something I didn't expect. This generation isn't just outsourcing their homework to AI. They're outsourcing their friendships. They're outsourcing their feelings, their sense of self. They're letting the algorithm tell them who they are, how to feel, how to be close to. And the algorithm is actually the thing that's forming them. And here's what's strange. I think they know it. The same students using ChatGPT to write their papers are booing AI executives off graduation stages. They're using it and they're hating it. That tension, that's where this conversation lives. In this video, I chat with my friend, Dr. Craig Detweiler. He's a filmmaker, a theologian, and the dean of the School of Art at Grand Canyon University. He spent decades thinking about what makes us human, what it means to be made in the image of God, and how we lose that when we trade presence for efficiency. This isn't an anti-technology episode. It's an Imago Dei episode. It's about what AI can never be, what we're at risk of forgetting, and the surprisingly simple practice that brings us back to ourselves. How do you feel about the sorry, no, what do you think? No, I don't want to know how you feel. Oh, maybe I do want to know how you feel about the art that it creates or people using it to create stuff.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, somebody has to still put the prompt in and give the idea. I mean, I just saw a commercial on a reel or whatever. The ad was like, you have this idea, you have this. I need a melancholic whatever soundtrack for this thing that I'm creating. So there's still that sense of creating, but is that like I don't know how does that land with you? How's that feel?
Well, if you have, I'll say, expensive or outlandish ideas that are hard to realize, it can be great for, I don't know, showcasing or, again, approximating something like this. This is what I might have in mind. This is what it might look like. And you can get there faster and cheaper. And so, in that sense, it can be a democratizing tool
Yeah,
at this moment. At
yeah,
this moment, they're not charging what it costs them
yeah.
to deliver those things because they are spending their capital investments to try to win a race.
Mm,
And then we're also now starting to see the hidden costs to the environment of generating that much computing power.
yeah.
And so what we might be doing casually for fun may prove to be too costly
In
to
the long run,
sustain.
yeah. No, I love that. I love how much of a purist you are when it comes to like art and music and
Well,
pictures and
it's a
paintings.
pretty old tried and true art form. You know, people have been gathering around, uh, we'll say fire pits
Yeah.
and looking up at the stars and taking the materials that surround us and figuring out how to tell a pretty good story that makes sense of life that can feel very chaotic, disordered, and sometimes cruel.
Mm. What are some of the energy and, natural effects? What's the effect on personhood or self?
I think the hard part is if it becomes too much of a shortcut or a crutch, because now you're robbing from yourself
Oh gosh.
and your own formation.
The research is saying that this next generation, they have AI companions. That's their people. And then this generation, they're outsourcing their emotions and their emotional capabilities. and they're letting the algorithm or the app govern how they feel, which is crazy. It sounds so crazy to say, but it's like it's an actual experience of the next generation.
Mm,
Like,
yeah,
there was a season where the next generation didn't know how to make friends or even talk to people face to face, but now they're outsourcing even just their feelings and their sense of self,
right.
you know, in this thing. And so that's why I like, man, the Imago Dei practice of getting back out into nature. And like, there's just something about creating, using your hands, like to physically manipulate, make something. Uh, uh, about 10 years ago, I started making these mason jar mugs. Like, I would take paracord and I'd make these mugs, and I called it my Jesus time. I called it like
Mhm,
it was whimsy. And it was
mhm.
just entering into the presence of, and I wasn't angry at anybody. I wasn't mad at myself. I,
You were free.
I
You
was
were free.
completely free.
Yeah,
The problem was I got pretty good at making them, and it would only take like 8 minutes to make one, so I would have to make a bunch in order to just stay in that state. Then a couple of years ago, I was like, "Well, I still know how to make those," but I started, like, whittling spoons, um, from driftwood,
mm, right,
which is
right. So again, craft,
so random,
craft, yeah.
but just taking what is trash or,
Mhm,
firewood for everybody, and, like, like, you couldn't really tell what kind of wood you were picking up. And then one time I made there was this bend in the spoon, and I was like, "Oh, let's see what I can make out of this spoon." And I was thinking that I was gonna use the bend on the top part, because then that
sure.
made sense. And then I looked at the other piece, that bend that went on the bottom part,
Mm,
which made no sense at all to make a spoon out of it, and I did. And it's my favorite spoon. Because
yeah,
it is whimsical, it
yeah,
is useless, there's no use case for
yeah.
a spoon that bends this way, with the and then, like, it was like the wood speaks to you, like, this
Mhm,
driftwood trash, like, would tell me, like, this is the way the spoon needs to go because the grain and the wood grain, and it moved this way, and you needed to avoid this knot, and, like, the spoon would just emerge out
mm,
of this thing. But it was never like, I used to try to at first, I wanted everything to be perfect and straight and just, you know,
yeah.
symmetrical. And then all of a sudden I was like, no, this wood, like, does this. And so, like, I just followed what the wood did and made these, like,
It
beautiful
makes sense to
spoons out
me.
of it.
You're taking what God's already handed you and then figured out what to do with it, right? Which I think is
What he does
like
with us.
that's the art of life. That's the art of life. That's it. It's a was it Ephesians 2:10, right? We're God's handiwork,
Mm,
created in Christ Jesus to do good works.
yeah.
And that word handiwork, right? That's the Greek word poema,
Yeah.
which you could also translate
Poem,
as
poetry.
poetry or artistry or masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
So we're God's masterpiece, but we've been crafted to craft,
Oh,
created to
man.
create. I think what I'm seeing with AI in the next generation, I don't know if you've noticed people, students, graduates booing uh, AI industry titans from the stage.
Oh,
Okay, so there's
I'm
a lot
not
of
seeing that.
speakers, ex Google execs or
Yeah.
tech execs, healthcare execs saying, "Hey, AI is here. AI is the future," and literally the grads are going, "Boo!"
Yeah.
And those same grads are also using AI to finish their college degrees and to
Yes.
write their papers.
100%.
And so people are like, "I don't get it." They're using it and they hate it. And I'm like, "Well, that's like being an alcoholic,
Yeah.
right? I know I've got a problem,
Yeah.
but now these tech companies are sort of like pushers
Yeah.
who are just shoving it down our throats, not giving people a choice, not willing to slow down and say, wait, are we losing some humanity in the process? It's just like push and profit is the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
And so people are naturally saying, I'm not sure this is actually helping me.
Yeah.
I'm using it, but I'm not a better person because of it.
The way that I've seen it, I've not seen the booing, but the way that I've seen it is this return to artisan, return to authentic, return to, like, a face-to-face conversation. Although I'm not seeing that as much,
Mhm,
but, like, but making sourdough bread.
mhm.
Why? Why?
Right.
Because we are done with the artificial,
Right. The
mass
physical world.
produced.
Help me manipulate the physical world.
And
Create something
that's the
beautiful.
practice of the Imago Dei.
Mhm.
Let's try this. And people are posting like whether it works out or not. But the point is like,
Yeah.
I made
Yeah.
this.
I might have taken half a day,
You- you-
half a Saturday to do something that I could have bought for a $2.
but that
It's more
return,
meaningful,
yeah,
right?
but that return to that artisan,
Yeah.
like, well,
Eh,
purist, I made this is like a thing. Like, and I think
mhm.
the more AI and artificial gets pushed, I think the more authentic we're gonna
Oh,
crave and
mhm.
desire.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's rooted in presence and it's rooted in process, right?
yes,
So the process becoming even that slowing downness,
present
right?
intent process.
Those 2 things, right? When we're fully present in the process, that's when we're fully human.
I
And
love
that's
it.
when it starts to restore our soul rather than to, like, in a sense, steal our time.
Oh man. Here's the connection for me. Like, because
Yeah.
selfies is how do I see the image of God in somebody else? But then there's also just doing it yourself and displaying the image of God for other people in the presence,
Yes.
in the process.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. See, I always get something stinking amazing out of conversations with you.
It just means I'm old. I've just done a lot of this stuff for a long time, you know? It's a lot of
Just
bad
because I'm
practice.
old.
No, I mean, it's just like I've made a bunch of mistakes.
No, but
I've tried stuff and have found over time, well, those shortcuts actually end up robbing you.
yeah,
It isn't about that. It isn't about how to get there faster or how to get there cheaper or how to be the most efficient.
yeah.
Those are the values of technologists who are measuring things by a different kind of metric.
Yeah, but you tend to be, well, maybe not on purpose, but you're a futurist still. Because like you can call things like I remember like, hey, this company, one particular talk, watch out for this company. It was Amazon at the time, and you called it, and I was like, dude, how did so?
Yeah, but I wasn't smart enough to buy stock. I can see it,
See, because you
but
you just love like the learning. Well, Craig, I appreciate you sharing your mistakes, and I appreciate you sharing your wisdom, and I appreciate sharing all the things that you learned because you're old. And I appreciate you spending time with me to have this conversation, man. We'll have to do this again, please.
always,
Thank you so
always,
much.
always.
All
All right.
right.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Here's what I keep coming back to from this conversation with Craig. Selfies, Craig's book, taught me that the Imago Dei isn't just a theological category. It's a practice. It's learning to see the image of God in someone else. But Craig added something to that for me today. The Imago Dei is also what you display when you make something with your own hands, when you slow down, when you're fully present in the process. And that's not just art, that's worship, that's formation. AI can imitate, it can approximate, it can give you a shortcut, but it cannot incarnate. It cannot make you more human. Only you can do that by doing the slow, sometimes useless, often beautiful work of creating. So here's my challenge for you this week. Make something with your hands. Bake the bread. Whittle the spoon. Write the letter. Cook the meal. Don't outsource it. Don't optimize it. Just be present in the process because you were created to create. Now, if this episode landed with you, share it with a parent, a teacher, or a leader who's wrestling with what AI is doing to the next generation. You can find more of my work on this channel and at identityspecialist.net. I'd love for you to take the free identity assessment at identityspecialist.net/assessment. And for all my content, you can also check out the Formation and Phones content on this YouTube channel and on that website. Thanks again for watching. And as always, don't forget, be unique, but belong.